What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today, we are reacting to the FNAF 2 phone calls are disturbing. Now, when hearing this, it left me confused, and I didn't really understand it. But then I started to think about it really carefully and started thinking, okay, the phone calls. That means the phone guy, and I started thinking about the phone guy from all three games for the first three games because that's where he mainly is heard, unless you count VR. I think he's in VR. I can't remember on VR, but for the first three games, it's for 2 and 3. It makes sense why we're hearing from him, but from like the first game, it's odd, weirdly enough, but because it's mainly due to the fact that it just brings the question on who is sending who is sending the recordings if the phone guy is gone. And that really is unnerving because it means that possibly someone else is in the building and they are just observing everything. So, yeah, that's my thought process on that. Anyway, I guess we're going to see what the meaning of this is. So, if you enjoyed this reaction video, uh, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification button to be notified immediately when a new video comes out. And if there's any videos you'd like to recommend that I should react to, then put it down in the comment section below. And finally, the link to this video is down in the description below. So be sure to give Titan APD some love and support for the video that they made. The only other thing I can really say is that, well, from the thumbnail, it seems like it's about Springtrap. And that is a really interesting subject when really thinking about it, so I'm a bit more interested now than I probably should. No, I'm just a bit more interested because I want to see how Springtrap ties into this. Anyway, let's get right on into it, shall we? Let's go.
Quick disclaimer, I am aware that it's a debate on what suit often used or when the calls take place. In this video, I'm going to act like the calls are happening in real time after the suit often used to spring Bonnie. Please don't cry if I don't get your interpretation of the game right. To start the video off,
Okay.
no, this is not a theory. I ain't here to break new molds or act like we were all wrong about FNAF 2. Instead, I want to praise something that absolutely no one has ever talked about or even thought about ever. The FNAF 2 phone calls are kinda cool. For a while now, something that's been on my mind is how genuinely well written and well acted the FNAF 2 phone calls are. Like, way better than the ones in FNAF 1 or 3. There's a really well crafted and disturbing story that starts to unravel if you pay attention to what phone guy aka Ralph has to say. So, let's go through each phone call and see
Okay.
why I like its story so much. God, this is gonna be a nightmare to edit.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Hello and welcome to your new summer job at the new...
Oh yeah, before I forget, so this is basically just a theory on what might be the case scenario. It's not like something groundbreaking or something that's 100% true. It's a theory, an idea that's probably not taking in the whole timeline into consideration at the very least, but it is some kind of brain food. That just seems to make some level of sense, but it could be wrong or right, or possibly it is both. It's just not all the way there. So, okay. All right, Titan. Gotcha.
And improve Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
On night one, we're given a very basic rundown of where we are and what this place is kind of holding. We're told about a supposed older location that was left to decay for reasons possibly unknown to the player. Of course, if you looked into the lore of the first game, you would know exactly why. Furthermore, if you were a new player, you could probably assume that the big old 2 slapped on FNAF 2 means it's a sequel, but already the phone calls clue you in on the fact that this may be different, other than the fact that Ralph isn't fucking dead, of course.
They've spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility. They even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat?
If you were a keen listener in FNAF 1, you would know that there was a mention of them being able to walk around during the day until a certain incident happened. Something Ralph also mentions is that these new shiny robots are equipped with facial recognition systems, which is the main reason why we can use the Freddy mask to trick them. Something very interesting that at first seems like a nothing detail is the fact that someone was there before us.
You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished his week but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift. So, hey, lucky you, right? Mainly he expressed concern that certain characters seemed to move around at night and even attempted to get into his office.
Although, for now, let's keep it in the back of our mind. At the end of the call, we're told to wind the music box for one of the robots and put the mask on for the rest. And that concludes our first call. While not much is given to us, it does set the eerie tone and gives us a surface level idea of what's going on. The next phone call isn't anything too much to write home about. It just introduces the Wizards and has Ralph simp for Foxy. Although, he does talk about something strange with what he calls that puppet thing.
I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere. I don't think the Freddy mask will fool it, so just don't forget the music box.
To a new player, what Ralph says about the puppet is slightly concerning, as so far they would know absolutely nothing about it, but that's about it for Night 2. Nothing much.
Okay.
Night 3 is where things start to really get interesting. First, we finally get to learn about the giant metal tumbleweed that so far has never been elaborated on. Ralph explains that Foxy was remade to be more kid-friendly, but the kids kept tearing it apart, and eventually the technicians gave up and just left it as that.
But kids these days just can't keep their hands to themselves. The staff literally had to put Foxy back together at the end of every shift. Eventually they just stopped trying and left him as some kind of take apart, put back together attraction. Now he's just a mess of parts. I think the employees refer to him as just the mangle.
Afterwards, Ralph brings something up that should really pique the player's interest.
Oh, hey, before I go, I wanted to ease your mind about any rumors you might have heard lately. You know how these local stories come and go and seldom mean anything. I can personally assure you that whatever is going on out there, however tragic it may be, has nothing to do with our establishment. It's just all rumor and speculation, people trying to make a buck, you know.
So rumors yet again are starting to circulate around Freddy's. Of course, Fazbear Entertainment denies everything, but as per usual, they're lying. Something to point out is that Ralph says that the rumor that's spreading is tragic, implying something darker behind what people are talking about. Lastly, Ralph brings up something that once more seems like an odd thing to be brought up.
Our guard during the day has reported nothing unusual, and he's on watch from opening till close.
The day guard, who if you remember is the night guard from the week before us who complained about the robots moving, is always watching and keeping note of who's there seemingly for the entire day. I think it's safe to say there's a lot more than a rumor going around, and Night 4 later is going to confirm that for us.
Hello! Hey there, Night 4. I told you you'd get the hang of it. Okay, so just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days. I don't know. I want to emphasize, though, that it's really just a precaution. Fazbear Entertainment denies any wrongdoing. These things happen sometimes.
And just like that, the door is starting to swing open. Whatever rumor has been spreading has seemingly come from an event that happened in this exact building. While we don't know what it is yet, we do know that something is now horribly wrong here. And something is also now horribly wrong with the animatronics, too.
Just as a side note, though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics tonight if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems. We're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive toward the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
While it's never stated if it's the toys, wizards, or both, what we do know is that something is very off about them. They seem to be directly antagonistic to adults. That being said, they thankfully haven't hurt anyone yet.
Oh, hey, good job, night 5. Hey, keep a close eye on things tonight, okay? From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, especially concerning any previous employees.
Whatever was found or discovered here isn't anything that can be simply covered up. The police are now fully involved and the building is completely locked for the investigation. Ralph also mentions that even previous employees aren't allowed. Previous as in ones that aren't here anymore? Did one of the employees get fired?
When we get it all sorted out, we may move to the day shift. A position just became available. We don't have a replacement for your shift yet, but we're working on it.
Indeed, someone was. The day guard, who Ralph has talked about quite often in the previous nights, has suddenly been let go from the company. I think it's pretty easy to assume to put 2 and 2 together about the day guard and the investigation. But there's another bombshell that Ralph drops before ending off the night.
We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
There was another location before this one, before even the first Freddy's, but we won't get elaboration on it in this game, unfortunately, and thus that concludes Night 5. Night 6 is where everything comes together, and the disturbing nature of the story is shown on full display. I'm going to let this one play in its entirety to give the full experience as what it would be like to hear it for the first time.
Hello? What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay? For now, just make it through the night. When the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take the night shift myself. Okay, good night and good luck.
And that's when everything comes together. Seemingly before we got here, a man wore a yellow suit and did something unspeakable. After that, the animatronics weren't the same. They were hostile towards adults and went after whatever night guard they could find in the office. The man would then move to the day shift. Whether it was out of a sense of satisfaction to watch the building slowly go into chaos, or if it was to cover up his tracks, we don't know. What we do know is the company then let him go after the huge target he eventually had put on his back. The last thing we're told is that there's one more birthday and that we, Jeremy Fitzgerald, should stay close to the animatronics. And that concludes the story of FNAF 2's phone calls.
Okay.
As the game closes, we're left wondering what horrid act had this man done to get the building completely ruined like this. What happened to the previous location and why did it meet the same fate as this one? While we're never told, we are shown through old, dated, and distorted graphics to what happened at Freddy's, what this evil, vile man had done. And on the offset you come across him, he gives out one last laugh. I love how well put together the FNAF 2 phone calls are. Hell, how well put together FNAF 2's story is.
What the
To the
heck?
slow panic and uneasiness that builds up to then when Ralph talks about what is happening to the building and putting the pieces together, such as the day guard being revealed to have been the purple guy in the Atari minigames, really just brings it all together to a fun, engaging, but horrifying mystery. Anyway, that's about all I wanted to say. I'm on winter break now, so hopefully the next video will come out in 5 months. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.
Okay. Okay, hold on. I need to do something. Because that's the first time I ever pay attention. And I'm realizing there's letters. Where's my pen? Honestly, with how everything is, it is an interesting concept of how the nights are played out. And it does give us an idea of what's going on in a day shift. And the fact that William Afton is involved in some way by being a night guard from the previous week to a day guard in this week and the week where the night guard. It does make sense. So hold on though. It's gonna be a pain for my ears, but
Through old, dated, and distorted graphics to what happened at Freddy's, what this evil, vile man had done. And on the offset, you come across him, he gives out one last laugh.
oh, that is interesting. I really never paid attention to that. It literally says save, and I'm for some letters I heard multiple. For like for the first letter I heard S, A, then V, then E. Then when it came to the next set of letters, I heard either S, C, or T. Then I heard H. Then I heard E. Then the last one, it was either L or M. But by looking at the letters, I'm thinking it's saying save them. I never paid attention to that. I thought it was a code, but apparently not. I thought I found something new. Not the case. It's just literally the word save them. It was probably already mentioned before, but with how everything is, yeah, it doesn't seem like it matters too much now. Hence why they're called a save them. Wait, save them minigame. Huh. That. Hmm. Never mind. Never mind. It's probably nothing. I'm probably just overthinking something. But yeah, overall, it is interesting when you rethink all the phone calls from night 1 to night 6 of FNAF 2, and the fact that FNAF 2 is a bit more eerie because when thinking about it, why did our person never really get the notice on why we are there? I mean, it's one thing to be interested in what's going on or worried about something or delve into something or something like that, but it's kind of strange how um in the end result we don't really know if our character actually got that alert saying no one's supposed to go to work or not. Because the opposite thing is, well, if our character isn't just like some random nobody and it happens to be like I don't know, someone important, but I don't think that'd be the case. In truth, I just think it might be the another victim from William Afton's schemes. Because the only other possibility would be it's William Afton himself we're playing as. But I highly doubt that because we're the night card. And there's no way they he could have messed with something before the shift. It would make no sense. It would make more sense if it was the previous week, though, because that's when the animatronics started acting up. Hmm. Anyway, uh, hope you all enjoyed this video. Tell me what you think about this recap on FNAF 2, and tell me what you think about the phone calls of FNAF 2 in general. And honestly, as I mentioned, it is really interesting to hear all this. It's a really cool subject, and it brings in that horror element that you can't help but admire. But yeah, other than that, I hope you all enjoy. And again, tell me what you think in the comment section below. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.